Alright, so today I have a vintage cassette recorder that I bought off eBay for $15, I think it was. The description said that it sort of worked, but there might be something wrong with the motor, that the motor stops running after a while. So this is the Kmart brand one. It says Electret condenser microphone, automatic level control. I don't know what that does, and it's called a cassette recorder, not a recorder. It's a cassette recorder. Yeah, looks quite interesting. Typical of its age. So it's got a mains connection here, and it feels very heavy, so it's probably got a large transformer in it. It also has a battery compartment. I can see the labels being removed here, and there's corrosion on this screw, and this screw is different from this one. This one is a Phillips head, this one is just a normal one. Looking inside the battery compartment, it looks fairly clean. There's a little bit of corrosion on the terminals. Not a lot. Something's rattling. Something's rattling around inside, and that would be a screw. Come on, there we go. So, yeah. I mean, clearly someone's opened it up, and they've left that screw. Alright, so what else? Well, the eject mechanism works. It's got a volume control here, slider. What have we got here? We've got a mic connection, we've got a REM connection. I don't know what that is. Is it remote control, maybe? Maybe it had a little wired remote or something. And ear, where you'd plug in an earpiece. I think back in the day, wirelesses only came with an earpiece. They didn't come with headphones or anything like that. It was just a single earpiece that went in one ear. It's got a leather strap on it, and being leather and good quality, that is perfectly okay. So this thing must be from the 70s, maybe 80s. I think maybe 70s. And that is really solid. It's got a nice piece of leather, and it's been anchored somehow internally inside, and it's really good. You can carry that around for sure, no problem. And I guess that's one of the features, is it was portable. So it took 4, what would they be, D cells? Can't really see, C cells. I've not seen a C cell in a very long time. Anyway, I'm going to plug this in to the mains and hope that it doesn't go pop. And if it does, well, then it will be exciting for a brief moment. So, here we go. I'll just be ready to unplug it very quickly. I might trip the circuit breaker. Does that not fit? No, that is a... I mean, obviously it's not the original one that came with that and it's just a smidge too big. Okay, I'll go and see if I can find another one. Okay, so time for plan B. I couldn't find a connector, a power cord that would work with that. So what I thought I might do is actually solder a wire onto the battery lead. So I have a bench power supply, so I can clip the negative lead onto the spring here, but to connect something to the positive terminal, it's just too hard. I suppose if I go long enough piece of wire, I could make it thicker. I could just push it into, I don't know if you can see it, there's actually a hole there. Looks like the terminal's been riveted. Oh, it's pretty dodgy. It seems to be holding. Oh, that's do or die, eh? Alright, let's just see what happens. So if I set my power supply to 6 volts and I connect this to the negative side and I connect this to the positive side, there's really not much there for that alligator clip to grab a hold of. So bend it over. Ooh, that's dodgy. Hey, what's the worst that could happen? It'll just go up in flames. Okay. Moment of truth. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So it's not drawing any current. I don't even know if that's making proper connection, but I'm just going to turn it over. Hope that that's still plugged in. Let's see what happens. I mean, how do you even know? Oh, there we go. I press play. Ooh. So it is spinning. So this spins and this does not spin. And I can't remember. Oh, it's making a horrible sound. I can't remember whether this one here spins sympathetically, like they should both spin, surely. Okay. So it makes a horrible sound, and this bit here spins around. I can't see that probably. So this bit here spins around, and this one does not. I wonder if I could show that a bit better. If I put that on there. Yes, that spins for a little bit and then slows down, but I'm not 100% sure whether or not this one here should spin at the same time, or whether the act of this one spinning pulls the tape through. and it causes it to spin as well. Anyway, so I can see what the problem is, and it works despite this incredibly dodgy setup here. I mean, literally, I have just got that wire shoved in the rivet hole there. But it's making a connection, so let's disconnect that. Come on. The alligator clips always go. I don't know where to get high quality alligator clips. These ones came from JCar. Not doing the job. Anyway, okay. So we need to pull this apart. So there's a screw there, which is Phillips head. There's a flat blade there. There's something in there. And there's a screw in here. And I can see that there's a chip out here. Maybe someone's tried to force it open. Not sure. Okay, let's give it a go. So I'll try this first. Okay, that is going to definitely destroy that thread. Let's try a much bigger head. Oh, is that it? Have I screwed that now? Just literally disintegrated. Let me just check that this is actually it was a Phillips head, I'm sure it was. It wasn't a hex head. What else have we got? Nope. All that's doing is it's doing nothing. That is just a waste of time. Okay, well, let's just see if we can get the other one out, and I'll tackle that one in a minute. No, these are really fine pitched. I don't think I've got something good enough. Alright, I'll have to go and find some other screwdrivers. Okay, so I've got some better screwdrivers. This one's a very fine tip. Even then it's really doesn't want to come out. I can feel it slipping and burring, cutting it, and destroying that one as well. Well, I'll try this one down here. I have had the situation where I've undone screws only to find that the screws that I was undoing weren't actually part of what was needed to pull it apart. Right, okay, which I think that was the case. Silly. Okay. So where else? Do I need to take that out? Because I noticed that there's a bit missing out of here, like somebody was forcing it and snapped it off. So I don't want to make the same mistake. There was there's a hole here, but there's nothing there. Is that right? Yeah, there's nothing in there. So, like I said, someone else has taken this apart and had a look at it, and they haven't put the screws back in. So it's just going to be brute force. No, it feels like there's something else going on here. I wonder if undoing these will do anything. Doesn't feel as though it should, but oh, actually, that felt like, yes, that unlocked something. So I'm guessing that the other person who undid it, thought it was coming apart just like me, and pulled and pulled until that corner broke off, and then probably did exactly what I'm doing, removed the strap. Let's have a look. It just pulls apart. Man, that's quality for you. Back in the old days. Huh. Alright. Yeah, they built them to be serviced. What do we got here? Wow, that's some crusty electronics. Okay. So what do I see? So here's the power connection. Can't see that. So here's the power connection down here, and that looks to be soldered on. So that looks alright. Well, this wire here has come off a gutser. Look at that. So that is going to the volume control. So that needs to be put back on. But I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem will be this belt, and this belt has absolutely no tension in it whatsoever. None at all. Yeah, I reckon that belt is just stretched over time. And maybe the thing just needs to be lubricated a bit. So the question is, how do you get a new belt on here? You can take the belt off here, no problem. But then how do you get it off from around there? Oh, and how did that even go on? I didn't even look to see how it had been wrapped around. because it definitely wasn't like that. It was like, how would it go? Like that? Doesn't seem right either. It's like an idler. How did that go? Actually looks like quite a complicated mechanism. There's two little screws on the side of here, which probably, and what's that? Is that a screw? No, it doesn't look as though it is. But if you remove these two screws here, this little arm here might come loose. Way to get in there? Don't know. I'm going to have to stop here and have a look at my own recording to see how that belt went on. Okay, so that's the way it goes on. I was a bit confused because it is so loose. It's even looser, I reckon, than when I actually first pulled it apart. So basically it's just disintegrating. So I need to see if I can find a new belt. And I purchased this like generic packet of belts and things for repairing stuff like this. What are those? 3 sets of exactly the same thing. Very different. They're all exactly the same. Well, that's great. Are they all exactly the same? I reckon they are. They're a pain. I only say it's a pain because I bought 3 packets, and each one contains 3 packets. Oh well. I can lose a lot, or I can repair a lot, I guess. Take out some of these. I'll just put them there. Alright, let's see what we can find here with that one. I reckon that's too long. This one. Okay, I reckon that's the right one. Now I got to figure out how to get it on there. So there is, I don't know if I can zoom in on that. There is a I don't know whether that's actually something that you can unscrew, like it's designed to have a special tool put in it. It's really difficult to see. It's black. It looks funny. I reckon that the person who's been in there probably shoved something in there to try and get that out. Maybe because it looks like it might be slightly hexagonal, but maybe it's just somebody doing what I'm doing. Looking for a flat bladed screwdriver to sort of see if they can turn it. Alright. So, the other thing is I can try and remove this arm a little bit so that I can pull the belt out and slide another belt in underneath. Otherwise I'm going to have to remove the whole mechanism. Probably to get at the other side. I don't really want to do that unless I absolutely have to. So let me just see if I can unscrew this. Get that in shot. You can see these little screws here on the side. You almost can't get to them because the side of the plastic case is getting in the way. Okay, got that one out. Okay, what's happened there? Oh, it's sort of is that? Oh, it literally has come away. So when I undid that, I don't want to ruin this. I don't know if you can see this, that it literally, there's a gap now between that. So it definitely wasn't a so it must just sit down. I don't know. So anyway, this is the one that's come off, and this is the one that I'm thinking of putting on. Wow, that's a lot. That's a big difference. That's like a couple of centimeters. Oh, sorry, that's yeah, so there's about a centimetre in it, I would say. That the new one is a centimetre smaller. Anyway, let's get this in. Around there. It goes around there. Bing. Nice. So is that a problem if it's twisted? Imagine it is. Can it not be twisted? That's it. Way more tension on it now. Absolutely. Alright, so then I just have to see if I can replace this screw, and I can see now that the bracket that this is screwing on, where this screw is going in, it's actually a slot, which would make sense. So now if I push down on here, I can push the bracket further down in its slot and then tighten it up, and that causes it to have no gap. Oh, I don't know. Doesn't seem quite right. So
but actually there is no hole at all. So this thing literally is designed to just push down, is to basically just to no, well it's not even doing that. That's weird. I'm guessing that this wheel can move up and down a little bit, and this is supposed to take the movement out of it. Okay, that's fine. I just got to be careful when I tighten up these screws. Yeah, because when I tighten up the screws it actually pulls away from the unit. So maybe I need to put quite a bit of force and then screw it up. Oh, it doesn't look perfect to me. Or maybe it doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe perhaps it's it just stops it coming all the way out. Yeah, that's what it is. He says, as if he knew. But he doesn't. Okay. Alright, let's just have a look at this again. So now I can get to both the positive and the negative terminals of the battery, which is good. So I don't need that wire any longer. I'll just check that that's all connected. Whoops, hang on. It's come up. It's come off. Wow. So that's come off since I've been playing with it. And where has it come off from? So I'm just looking at this, and I'm also noticing that this capacitor, well, a capacitor is actually, it's got a bit of staining around it. This one, there's a capacitor on the other side just here. Okay, so where did that come loose from? Was it over here? Okay, I'm going to have to look again at my own video to see where that came from. Okay, even after looking at the video, it's not 100% clear to me where it goes. But I think that perhaps it goes to there. I can see other earth connections where it's just basically soldered onto the back of the circuit. So if I use a multimeter and then just check that that is, well, it is supposed to be connected to earth anyway, so oh, this is yucky. Yeah, the wire is really old and corroded. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to actually solder it. I've seen wires like this before, and once they get they go funny like that, they won't take any solder. But I'll just try tin it and see if it sticks. There's a little bit on there. solder on there. Lots of lead in this solder. Okay. I have this crusty old soldering iron that I've had for 20 years. I bought it from Dick Smith Electronics. T2200. Best soldering iron I ever had. Okay. So we've connected that up. If I've got it wrong, who knows what's going to happen. I think I might just go ahead and turn it on. Where's play? So let's play there. So it's the second one from button from the end. Alright. Behold the magic smoke. Okay. Nothing. Let me just check I've got this right. Okay, so what I did was I dodgily shoved the positive 6 volts. You can't really see that. It's just the wire is now down in there, and I've got the negative connected to there. So if I turn it on now, nothing happens. Let me just. I swear to God it was working a second ago. Oops, there it is. Don't know if you can see that. So it's spinning around. It's not making that awful noise like the belt was slipping before. Trouble with something that's so old and all of this dodgy electronics is you get dry solder joints where basically the solder is coming away, and you get intermittent connections as you move things around. So it seems to be working now. A bit of a squeal there. I mean, it probably needs to be lubricated, but I don't really know how you lubricate a tape deck. So what I might do is I might solder this back on. I'll turn this off. So this is the connection that should be connected to here. So it helps control the volume. That wire is just a little bit too short. Like, if it'll work there, but every time if I have to take this apart, it'll just be just that smidge too short, which is why it's probably come away in the first place. Yeah, I wonder if could I get a bit of extra length if I pull it out of this sleeve. Someone's put it in that sleeve to keep it neat and tidy, but if I pull it out I might get that extra millimetre Yeah. So let's see if I can get the end off. Nope. I can try this, but it'll be too short for that. Just try and pinch it off with my fingernails. Come on, it's always the way. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so I can tin it. Come on, stick to it. I've got a little bit that's stuck to it. And tin this. Nice big blob of solder. Might help. Okay. It's not wonderful. So, how can I make my life easier as far as applying power to this sucker? Okay, so what I ended up doing was getting a much thicker cable to basically shove in the positive side of the battery compartment, and it's made better contact with the terminals, and now it seems to be working. So check this out. Don't know if you can hear that. So basically, let me just show you how this works. It's been so long since I've used a tape recorder. I hadn't remembered how it worked, but basically when I press play, this one here rotates slowly, so as it's at the correct speed for the tape to play. If you hit rewind, then this one rapidly turns, and if you hit fast forward, then that one rapidly turns. Yeah, that's basically how it works. So, time to put a tape in. Paul Stanley, Kiss. Yeah, 1978. Alright, so tape in, click. So I'm not going to close this, leave that open, so if it starts chewing the tape I can tell. So fingers crossed. I've put the volume all the way down. Play. Alright, will it work? It's spinning. Turn the volume up. Yes. Unbelievable. Perfect. Fast forward. Perfect. Unbelievable. This technology still works. Although looking at the state of the soldering in that board, I can't imagine it'll work for very much longer. So I've got some headphones here, and we're going to plug that into the earpiece and see whether or not it works. If it does, I should get like a mono signal come out of it. Yeah. Don't know if you can hear that. Perfect. Mono, of course. Alright, so fixed. So I think all all that was really wrong with it, all of the power problems that I had was actually not getting a proper positive connection while trying to use this bench power supply. The problem was actually the loose belt. And now that that belt's been replaced, I think if I gave it a clean, the volume control is a bit dodgy. I think that if I put some contact cleaner in there, it would probably work. And there you go. And obviously I haven't tried to plug it into mains, and I probably never will. I don't think I'll be bothered. I might get some C batteries and just have it here and show my kids what technology used to be like before even they don't even know what DVDs, CDs are. So be interesting to see if they could actually work this. Alright, that's it. Ciao.